Well, so I'm just taking care of my health, particularly my heart health, because, moment. Taking care of the heart without moving a muscle requires a particular kind of respiratory process that I call as Dhananjaya pranayama, but it needs to be remembered that Dhananjaya pranayama, the way I understand it, is not just about taking care of your heart. It is a vayu, one of the vayus, upavayus, listed on Google, five vayus and five upavayus. Dhananjaya pranayama, Dhananjaya is one of the vayus listed as upavayu. Google has reference to a video called Dhananjaya pranayama. What that to talks about is Dhananjaya pranayama is not just limited to breathing of the heart valves. It is not, or the breathing of the valves. Because including our varicose veins, for example, the people who have varicose veins, they also have valves, which are valves in the veins. Yeah. So our body functions by several metabolic processes. 10 vayus have been listed. So I don't know those textbooks from where about these vayus have been listed in literature. But Vedic texts, I've read that ancient Vedic texts have reference to 49 vayus. In studying my own body, in taking care of my own health, I have been doing healthy natural breathing, movementless yoga that I call, well, you can call it by many names. For example, we call the lungs in many languages with many names. But essentially, the practice remains of how to maintain a body being healthy. And and then there are text references for saying that there have been other people also who've studied this. So I will explain how I have understood it and how I maintain my health. And I've been doing this during the 2 years of the pandemic, during the time when I noticed, now they're calling it as circadian rhythms, as cyclical patterns, body clock, harmonious ultradian rhythms. There are many kinds of, many names, there are many kinds of rhythms. But the point is, when I was practicing this during the 2 years of the pandemic, lockdowns were lifting from how my body as a microcosm of the macrocosm, one person, self. The Upanishads say the cells of all human beings are related. Now, my relationship with my body, my breathing patterns, my I call it Pisces, physical, intellectual, spatiotemporal, conscience, emotional aspects, social consciousness. And then there are several other factors, for example, earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space. So seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, knowing. So there are several basics like this, six sets of six. Also rest, clean, fun, work, water, vegetables. So these are some of the constructs that I've arrived at over time. So there are several basics like this, set of sixes, which I have put through as a referenceable set of basics by which to live a normal, ordinary, harmonious life. And these have emerged over time since the pandemic. Um, and also, I started my clinical work in 2013, but I've been inquiring into life and looking for what is missing, the presence of which would make a difference in being human, humane, alive, in love, and in marriage with life. Seeing how people tend to keep seeking liberation from life and all those kinds of behavior patterns. So during the 2 years of the pandemic, when I practiced healthy natural breathing, I was noticing that I was healing earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space of trauma, of stuck patterns, of um, stories, of content, which haven't been able to move since some time. Yeah. And as I was practicing that, I was noticing that I was healing inflammation, but mostly I was healing my relationship with life, with my relationship with males, females, but it's also several aspects which now are which I'm also representing in my videos that I call as my conscience. There are several circles, at least 36. Science has reference to 36 fundamental particles. And I'm finding the Sri Chakra has reference to so many bases. So I've been healing the fabric of time space by what I'm calling as movementless yoga, by what I'm calling as healthy natural breathing. And I have 10 names given by Google. And when I'm maintaining my health in terms of um, what I understand as a 10 vayus, then it becomes easier for me to teach or make available what I'm calling as the benefits of yoga at a mythological quality. The sense people become better. So there's this idea of the Dashavatara and Dashami, where there are cyclical patterns of evolution, where say during a year, when you're going through these regular evolutionary patterns, your bodily processes go through the poiesis and apoptosis. Your bodily patterns go through regular rejuvenation, decontamination, de-traumatization, such that health is maintained. And I was noticing the lockdowns were lifting because the fabric of time space, which is also formed by earth, water, fire, spirit, space, was getting regularly de-traumatized, de-patterned. In the sense, traumatic patterns would be there. It's like there's this idea of water having a memory. Similarly, different elements have their own imprints or impressions or runanubandha. The sense, say somebody touches us, yeah, or we are amidst many people, including gadgets. They have an impression on our body. Similarly, they have an impression on earth, water, fire, spirit, space, on the fabric of time space. And regular decontamination is like how we clean our houses, how we clean our community spaces, public spaces. When we're cleaning them, then the space becomes better, more humane, livable. So I've been healing the fabric of time space, healing the elements, yeah, such that, and creatives that's there, our body, for example, plants, animals, microbes, they all, different forms of life, they show up in a healthy manner when wounds heal. Now, we have different therapeutic practices that are saying that when wounds heal, health improves. Yeah. So creatives come up. I've noticed that ecological projects were coming up. The kind of movies that they were talking about, mythological movies also. Um, the lockdowns lifted, which means life again resumed in productivity, and now we are looking in terms of health, wealth, wisdom. So there are several benefits that I've noticed over time, and this is also what I understand as Sanatana Dharma. That is the dharma of a human being, which never really stops because you never stop cleaning your house, taking care of your body or taking care of people around. So this is what I understand as Sanatana Dharma. So consequently, taking care of my different parts of my body regularly is a natural, regular process, just like brushing teeth. Yeah. Or before you start work, you maintain a clean space before you, yeah. Similarly, now I am uh, taking care of my heart because I have been kind of paying attention to different processes, and I've been, kind of lot of cares and stuff. So when you're kind of getting weighed down by many things, you do need to take care of your different parts of your body. Otherwise, you could have, like, say, for example, fatty liver, or you could have abdominal concerns, or you could have, metabolic process, diabetes, those kinds of things. Yeah. Or kidney concerns. So when you're regularly healthy natural breathing of the different organ systems, health restores their function restores. So you have a body with all the parts functioning. Yeah. And different parts of the body have their own work in the scheme of things. Yeah. When hands are functioning well, then what is possible from hands functioning well becomes possible. Similarly, liver has a job, lungs have a job. Yeah. So those aspects of our life function well. Yeah. So the thing is about how to live in such a way that we are regularly de-traumatizing from the cookie-tude. In the sense, it's like if you don't have a bath for some time, you have layers of sweat, etc. Yeah, forming and that forms a certain cookie. Yeah, it just um, solidifies. Sukha and dukkha, for example, are um, good space, bad space. You could they also have biochemical responses, hormonal responses, emotions, for example. They also form tissue memory. So when you're not regularly defragmenting, decontaminating, detoxifying, or decooking, yeah, they form cakes kind. Um, some have the experience of, say, calcified crystals, for example, or different biochemical precipitates. For example, eyes, cataract, yeah, those kinds of things. When you're regularly decooking, then those different body parts are maintaining healthy. Yeah. Okay. So that's a little perspective on the 10 vayus. There you would say this is another one, but I will um, try and capture what I'm calling as Dhananjaya pranayama. It's to be remembered that it's not only of the heart, but because it's been called as the breath of the heart valves, I'm calling it as Dhananjaya pranayama. But it's actually what I found is Dhananjaya pranayama has its own showing up in the whole body. Apana Vayu, for example, the whole body experiences different aspects of it. So there is apana, prana, jnana, samana, udana, Dhananjaya, kurma, krikala, naga. One more is, okay. Devadatta. Okay. So, Dhananjaya pranayama, I will try and capture a little bit of this. So, what I'm doing is I'm bringing my attention to my heart. Okay. I'm paying attention to the region of my diaphragm. Okay. And I'm paying attention to, so this is where the diaphragmatic breathing, I'm trying to loop it so there is a better understanding. So I'm bringing my attention to the sides of my chest and noticing the warmth and softness in the sides of my chest and noticing the rhythmic movement of the sides of my rib cage, sides of my chest. So I'm noticing my ribs as more from the difference in the texture. And then I'm paying attention to the movement of my ribs as I'm breathing. So there's a gentle expansion contraction of the ribs because the lungs are right within. And about the lower part of my rib cage is where the diaphragm also is situated. So in taking care of my heart, I'm aware that the heart is resting on the diaphragm. So I'm trying to bring an anatomical correlation. And then I'm noticing the gentle movement of my heart as I'm breathing. So it helps over time when you're paying attention to the chest, yeah? And then you're noticing the gentle rhythmic movement of your lungs. At some point, once you get comfortable with noticing your chest region, the different textures in your chest region, you're likely to notice your own heartbeat. So paying attention to the lower portion of my heart, which would be about the left ventricle, right ventricle, yeah, where the aorta starts, yeah, about there. But it's the lower portion of my heart. So from the bottom of my heart, yeah, love from the bottom of my heart. Okay. So sometimes, well, a lot of work happens in the the lower ventricle, yeah, left and right ventricle, because all the body's processes, then there's this movement. And the lower portion of the heart is where there's this pumping blood, and then there's uh, blood moving through the different parts of the body. Yeah. So into the lungs, and then oxygenating, and then moving through the fresh cycle of circulation. The heart also maintains space. Yeah. The health of space. Sometimes it's bogged down by emotions. Yeah. And the heart tissues have the effect of it, have the effect of the emotions, the nervous system, the muscular, the muscle system, the neuromuscular system, having a certain effect from the regular routine habits. Yeah. Even a tank, also overhead tank, or the sump, we clean regularly, which is when the health of the water is good enough. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm taking care of my heart. So I'm paying attention to the lower portion of my heart, bottom of my heart, and I'm noticing the when I pay attention to my heartbeat, the rhythms of my heart, I'm noticing a slowness between the back of the bottom of my heart and the front of the bottom of my heart and the left and right sides. Yeah. You could say, oh, sometimes there is reference to the um, Subo, Takitsubo. Yeah. Takitsubo rhythm, Tokusubo. Cardiomyopathy, it's called. Yeah. Or it's called the stress cardiomyopathy. So there are also coronary arteries, which are the capillaries of the heart. Yeah. Which needs to be regularly maintained. So there is the quality of your heart condition, the circulation is well enough. Otherwise, there could be, between the left and right, between your lungs, and your marriage of your body between your heart and lungs is not as fine as it needs to be. And then between your respiration and your emotions and your nervous system and your muscular skeletal system, your muscular system, and the different fluids and space and all gets a little, ooh, yeah. So I'm paying attention to the bottom of my heart, front, back, left, right, relationship with the space of my chest. I'm also paying attention to the relationship with my lungs. Yeah. Because there's a fine balance, there's a rhythmic balance. The rhythm of the lungs, left and right lungs, is different from the rhythm of the heart. Yeah. And then there are other tissues. For example, there is the aorta, there is the vena cava, there is the different capillaries. There's also the mediastinum. Yeah, there's the ribs. There's several other tissues. For example, the lymph system, the lymphatic system. They're all having a role to play in the region of the chest. And when the heart, bottom of the heart has been working since some time, and you haven't been taking care of the pump as well, yeah, then it feels a little heavy. Yeah, you care a lot, and then you're just not able to rest as well enough. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to the breath of my heart. Okay. And I'm helping to de-stress the breath. Otherwise, the breath is having the heaviness of the movement. Yeah. And just like our muscles, yeah, if you've been holding it like this for too long, there's a certain biochemical response that happens. For example, there could be more lactic acid forming, for example, and other effects that then has your muscles not function as well. And when you rest your muscles sufficiently, those chemicals then move through metabolic processes, and then it's rejuvenated, healthy enough. That's also what happens when you're sleeping. your muscles are getting the chance to nicely rest. When you have a good quality sleep, then your muscles are nicely rested. There is biochemical processes happening by which your muscles rejuvenate, your body rejuvenates. Different processes are talking to each other, and your body rejuvenates into health. I'm doing this rejuvenation process without having to sleep. So while I'm awake, I'm just taking a little bit of a break and then paying attention to the breath of my heart. Yeah. And helping to deload, so to speak. Yeah. The heaviness of it. I'm helping my heart muscles to rest and to breathe healthier naturally. Yeah. Which means, for example, I'm paying attention to the warmth, the softness, the moisture, but it's also texture, but it's also the pace at which the breathing is happening. The muscles are moving, but it's also the direction in which the muscles are moving. Yeah, I'm also paying attention to the length of the movement. For example, if the heart is like heavy with stuff, they'll take a longer breath. Yeah, like really dip into the depths of it and kind of um, there's this movie, children who listen to, who chase lost voices. There's this idea of, I heard it as get all, yeah? But it's like um, some aspects of the breath, some aspects of the nerves, some aspects of the biochemistry, kind of really letting go, or not let, it's more like dipping into the space of space and also into nothing. And then that's also there's this idea of Jo Ha Q. Yeah. So there's a space where we emerge from nothing and then form things, and then to nothing we go. This I'm allowing for the heart muscles to do. So into nothing, take a full nice rest as you go along, and then it's like a phoenix and emerges. Yeah. Bring together the forces of life in a way that is more in agreement and alignment. And then now what to do next? Yeah, it's like you go to sleep, you have a good night's sleep, and you wake up, you're like, okay, now the day's activities. Yeah. Sometimes you're working and not really resting. So similarly, different parts of our body require these regular resting phases. Well, nice, rested, and then it's rejuvenated, and then you're able to more function. And then there is these different parts of the body being related with other parts of the body, and then um, the body being related with other people, environment, gadgets, the work we do. Yeah, so it's not just about taking care of the body, but it's also about the life we maintain. We have a vehicle to be able to get to a place. Yeah. So when we are regularly taking care of our body vehicle, what we do in life, how we do in life, maybe less from a place of wound and then stress and then survival to interacting with, oh, there's beauty. Yeah. Because your body becomes the eyes. Yeah. Because there's more beauty experience. Because well taken care of, nourished, you yourself are taking care of yourself, of your own, of your body, mind, spices, physical, intellectual, spatiotemporal, conscience, emotion, social consciousness, spices. You're taking care of your body as a fish, like mermaid, you say, yeah? Fish, spices. Sacred geometry is talking about vesica Pisces. So several circles. When we take care of our one connection between the different circles, yeah, between the masculine, the feminine, nature, nurture, several complementary partners, and I call it the four. You know, the mama, papa, baby, idio. So our body is at least made up of from sperm and ovum from our parents, and then we have our own life and our relationship with our partner, our spouse. Yeah, so that's at least four. And then we have sacred geometry has a seed of life has 7 circles in total. And then once you're covering the 7, we are 24/7 at least related with life. And then when we cover our 7 dhatus, yeah, then we can look at what else do we would we like to take care of? What else would we like to do? That's how the sacred geometry, other circles come up. So that's also how our container becomes better. What we are able to take care of, what we can contain, and how we contain, how we take care of, what we take care of, why we take care of. So there are 14 questions. I will post another video on that. But this one, I will just have you contemplate. This may otherwise get to be a little heavy video, yeah, with lots of information. So I hope this gives you a little perspective on how I maintain health, how I'm in some way, what I'm calling as healthy and natural breathing. And then there are 10 vayus. Yeah, I was only talking about what's been called as a Dhananjaya vayu. So slowly, I hope you will get a little perspective on what I do. And do contact me if you have any concerns, questions, and I may be able to support you, because it takes some guided meditation, guided practice, so that you're able to maintain health. And this is, again, without moving any muscle. Yeah, it's through awareness, mindfulness, present moment appreciation. There are several fine details about this. I hope this gives you pause for thought about how you have maybe been thinking about the vayus, praanaayaama, ashtanga yoga. So, so this is what I'm calling as movementless ashtanga yoga vinyasa. So there is so many aspects to this. The Shri Chakra, I found, is emerging from my conscience. So, and I'm still putting the chakras, the circles together and getting the whole system together. So this is the hard problem of consciousness, but I'm trying to represent what I've been doing, the science of mythology, or the science of meristem intelligence, or the intelligence of how to grow from a seed through the soil in a way that the seed is getting better, the environment around is getting better, and future generations. The seed grows to a tree, and then fruit, flower, fruit, yeah, and then reproduction, yeah. So good values are being reproduced. And then I'm teaching on how to have this be available. So which I'm calling as original humane intelligence facilitation. So it's a large language model. So and movementless yoga is one aspect of it. So I have 4 values: heal, breathe, love, live. Yeah. So here I'm talking the heart healing is one aspect of the healing aspect. So there is that's also breathing also. Yeah. And that's also love, because it's also the love that I have for myself, my life, what I'm doing, which has me then take care of my body in this way. And it's also live. Yeah. So what does it take to live in such a way that you're taking care of yourself, people around you, and future generations? So that's 4 values of fine weave. So I hope this gives you a perspective on what I'm doing, what I'm working towards. And this is some of the values that it takes for us to have the healthy economy. Otherwise, we have WHO's list of diseases from a lack of perspective on on how we've been appreciating the human body and the condition of being human. I think it's a humane being, and what it takes to be a humane being, which hasn't been so much an inquiry, because non-violence has not been an inquiry as much as it needs to be. So which is why the several perspective finer details, which makes original humane intelligence a large language model. Okay, so that is the intellectual aspect. So thank you so much for your interest. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.